What's up, everybody? Blaze here with Ember Moon and Rich Campbell.
Yep, and we host the best party in esports, Bud Light's Twitch Rivals After Party.
Follow Bud Light on Twitch to find when we're live next.
And that's all you guys need to know. See you then.
After Party.
Hey guys, we got Sable on with us today.
Figured that if I showed up this way, he might actually get some writing done. How is everyone today? How's my sound? Is it okay?
It sounds a little echoey, but I don't know if there's anything we can do about that. I think that's just Google Meets.
Well, it's probably coming
Nope,
through your speakers.
it corrected itself.
It corrected itself? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That could be my shitful microphone, I suppose.
No, it seems to have come through better now.
Oh, that's better? Okay. I had to put the thing in front of my face, I guess. I practically have to eat this microphone for it to work properly. Sleeping as I drink coffee, I'm just saying. Of course, the fact that I'm on my crappy little laptop probably doesn't help either.
Yeah.
Well, since the last time we were live, let's see, did Gnarl Carr follow last time you were live?
Yes, I thanked him for it.
All right.
But
awesome.
Nettle Stargazer, thank you for the follow, and Right Lighter. All right, thank you for the follow. Nettle, I haven't seen you around here before, so thanks for coming in.
I think it's Natal Stargazer. They're an Anvilite. They were on the stream this morning, and we were chatting about doing writing streams. They've got a YouTube channel, or not a YouTube channel, Twitch channel, and they've been doing games and stuff like that, but they were talking about doing World Anvil and NaNoWriMo content, so...
Okay. Everybody follow Nettle Stargazer.
Hey, Barbarossa, how you doing? Did you manage to get the application? Nettle, okay. So Erin was right and I was wrong. I stand corrected. That's cool. Fair enough. Yeah. You know, it's been a really great week for me as far as finding writing streamers and connecting with writing streamers goes. I have to say there's some neat stuff out there. I was checking out Final Boss Editing. That's with underscores between the words, right? And he does some really, helpful advice for writers. I think he's the only one I've seen other than me who does like specific writing advice segments, right? So check him out if that's what you're here for, because it's always good to get another perspective. I don't know fucking everything, you know? So it's good to hear stuff from someone else too. Plus, he approaches it from kind of the opposite angle that I do. He's a writer, or he's an editor that moonlights as a writer, and I'm a writer that moonlights as an editor. So it's good to get both sides. Also, I was checking out the Lady Writes this morning. Now, I've been to her stream before, but usually not for very long because I'm rarely up at that time of the morning. But she is writing like actual science fiction, which is not as common, I guess, on at least among Twitch streamers. So, right, so check that out too. Right, definitely catching an echo of your voice or a second version that's delayed. Well, shit. Is the webcam mic active again?
No, but this I can probably turn down. Gain on my mic is probably too high. I will double check it. Give me a moment.
Oh, Sable, what you think of my new theme? Yes, Barbarossa also streams World Anvil writing content, and he did up a really awesome theme for his deco punk noir fantasy world that he has just started that I'm really excited about, actually, because I love that kind of genre bending. I can't get enough of it. So, and yeah, I think it looks great. I think it's exactly right. Yeah. Yes, very, very cool. Definitely recommended. So many good streamers out there. Reminds me, I haven't even announced our stream in the World Anvil channel yet. I better get on that.
Okay, I turned the gain down on the mic. Did it help? Okay. What? Sable, can you say something?
Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Check, check.
Okay.
Check 1, 2, 3.
And he told us it's gone.
Excellent.
Yeah, I have to mess with the gain. Depends on the noise in the house and stuff like that, whether or not it picks her up. Occasionally, her mic will pick me up too. She's sitting across the room from me, right over there. Right?
I mean, I could go into another room, and that would almost certainly solve the problem completely. But part of the reason why we do this is to hang out together, right? So that kind of defeats the purpose.
Ashes, how you doing, mate? Day's going pretty great.
I used to work on film stuff, so sound stuff is a common thing for me. Okay, cool. Well, I'll listen to your advice for sure. And hey, good to see you, Ashes. Welcome. Yeah, Ashes of Authority is another writing streamer. So many good writing streamers.
Yeah, and check out his book. That's James McGee, Better Left Unsaid.
Oh, I was looking at that. I can drop the link in the chat, actually.
Yeah, a collection of, I think it's poetry and such from.
Yeah, it's poetry, basically about you know, relationships, PTSD, and a sort of dark spiritual awakening, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Just a second here. This being weird. Ah, that's the problem. Okay. Never mind. I'll just do this then. I'm not signed in. I was like, I could do like a short link and then I could say, so, the link, but bah. Anyway, this is the link to check out his book. And I was looking at it and I'm thinking I might get a copy. So, because it
Yeah.
looks really interesting. Which I'm thinking about because I still had it up. From the last stream it was mentioned, which means I didn't want to forget it. This is why I have like 10,000 tabs across the top of my screen, right? Because if I haven't made a decision on something yet, but I don't want to forget about it, I leave it up. Or if I'm like half finished something, I leave it up because otherwise I will forget what the hell I was doing and it will disappear in my brain. So, this is one of the problems when you put too many things on your plate.
Yep.
I'm so silly. I haven't, there we go. Now I actually broadcast that, and I should also put that in the Twitch Writers Network. All right, so what are people working on today? Did people come here with intention to get things done? I'm hoping we can steer a lot of the stream towards that today, because I have shit to do. I'm running out of time before Nano. I am getting close to getting my first book completely edited in the series, though. It's almost done, right? They're about to, head towards the climax, right? So... And actually, it was there were parts I had to add back in, but that actually worked out smoother than I thought. And I'm going to take the advice of a friend of mine. I never remember his last name. Brent is his first name, but you need to know his last name because he's an author and he writes alternate history. Let me see if I can find his book here. Remember the title of his book, A Time of Need, is one of his. I believe it is a Sidewise Award winner, or at least it was a nominee. So I'm just looking it up.
Yeah, Nito, they call that a pantser. Hey, Bacaro, how you doing?
That's it. Brent Harris. Right? So he did an edit of my book, and he suggested I actually end it earlier than I was going to end it and start the second book kind of after the return. And I thought, at first I was resistant, but now that I've been thinking about it, I think he's right, and that's probably a good place to split it. And especially since I've now split the second book into 2 books, I think that would make for a smoother story. So I'm going to do it. So, yeah.
Last minute worker, they call that a pantser.
Yep, that's right.
That's me. I'm sort of a plantser. Right? I plan a little bit, but mostly I go by the seat of my pants.
Macaro got himself blocked on Tumblr by a third-party voter. Did you already read that?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, already got himself blocked on Tumblr by a third-party voter. So all I have left is writing on my Harvest Festival thingy. Oh dear. Facebook gave me the boot. I don't know what happened. I don't know whether I was hacked or whether the article about the goblin rite of passage that Erin wrote and automatically syndicated to my blog, which then syndicated to my Facebook, was considered a violation of the terms of service or not. But then they shut me out, and in order to get back in, they wanted my driver's license. And I'm like, well, if you think I was hacked, why in the fuck would I give you my driver's license? So I hummed and hawed over it for a while because I've been meaning, I hate Facebook anyway. The only reason I was maintaining it was marketing, basically, and, a couple of old friends that, I don't know how to talk to any other way. But then they made the decision for me because I waited too long, so they deactivated my account. I apparently have no recourse other than to start a new account. So I thought, nah, too much work. Fuck it. So I'm pretty visible online. I figure any of my friends who really want to talk to me can find me. So
That's cool, Nito. He said, pronouns? What are your pronouns, Nito?
yeah, let's make sure we get it right.
In the meantime, they said that they had to write a script for class. They wrote the thing in, or she says that she wrote a script for class, wrote the entire thing in like the last 2 days of the month they had, and sat down in 4 hours and wrote a 20-page script.
Holy shit. Okay,
Right?
I'm impressed.
Her teacher loved it, but thought the ending was rushed.
No kidding. Well, that's what editing is for, right? And let's see, reading back here while I was yapping. Neathole says, currently trying to get some ideas running for Nano. Might at least have a theme now. That's good. Last winter worker most of the time. Me too. This is the first year I've ever been absolutely certain of what I'm doing for Nano before the 28th of October. I'm always changing my mind, right? And rank panic is probably my best motivator. So, yeah, finding the right stopping point is chaos. Yeah, fact. I once had to write a script. Okay, then we just read that, which is excellent. Cool. All right.
Yeah, so anyways, people want to get some work done. Sable wants to get some work done.
Sable wants to get some work done. This is cool. Someone mentioned Silent Hill, and I love horror stories, so I'm like, hey, we could write something Silent Hill-esque. My goth rock band back at 20 years ago wrote a song about Silent Hill. Actually, so yeah, because Silent Hill is awesome. So.
Okay. Finding the right music here. It doesn't say I'm dropping any frames.
Nope, they were, I think.
No.
This looks fine. Yeah, okay. Needle says that's amazing. We actually got to see the Silent Hill band at Con one year. Nice. And it was, boy, that was an experience. I bet it was. Makara says, my Day of Remembrance article feels like it needs a bit of an opening quote. Barbarossa says, Sable, sorry I lost connection. Who do I give my application to for the ASC? I think there's an email address there for you. Just a second here. I do actually have the computer in front of me and I'm not doing something else right now, so I can totally look. Yes, if you stream World Anvil content and you're not yet a member of the ASC, you should sign up. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Oh, maybe that's what I wanted.
That's cool. That's pretty cool, Nito.
Oh, wow. Like it was a small con being run by a bigger con, so we weren't expecting some major people. Hold still, chat. Okay, there we go. Some major people showing up, and it was like the second year of the con, and the actual lead of the band showed up from Japan. That really is awesome. I'm streaming some form of ASC content.
Any suggestions for creating city campaigns? Oh. In your noir setting? Okay, city campaigns. Try not to let the party split up too much. That's one. Right? When they get into cities, people like to go their separate ways in parties. Right? Try and keep them together as much as possible. Suggest that they do things as a group.
Yep. Oh, I see another stream running in the background.
You got another stream running in the background?
Yeah, I was watching Angst Haze.
No.
And I forgot that I was watching Angst Haze. And so that was still running. Anyway, here we go. This is the article you want, Barbarossa, and anybody else who is considering applying to the Anvilite Streamer Corps. Right there.
I'm not sure if I would totally agree with that there, Barbarossa, but I think in general that makes a little bit of sense. A city is basically a dungeon with doors and windows.
Needle is debating if she wants to do a modern setting or hit up something like diesel punk because horror and odd genres are interesting. Yes, they certainly are. A city is basically a dungeon with doors and windows, WebDM. Yeah, it can be.
What advice would you have, babe?
City campaign? Don't always send people out of the city, right? In order to do things, if they want to do a city campaign, they want to get involved with what's going on in the city. So I think start with what's the power structure like in the city? You know, who's in charge? Who wants to be in charge? You know, what's the criminal element like? You know, are they at war with each other? Is it like, you know, one thieves guild runs everything, depending on what your genre and era is? You know, what about you know, how is security maintained in the city? Is there a city watch? Is it under martial law? Is there a police force? Right? Are they corrupt? Are part of them corrupt? You know, and then that, once you think about how all that relates, that leads to a lot of different adventures from there, right? If the police force is corrupt, you could have the characters stumble upon, you know, a shopkeeper who you know, isn't getting help from the cops because they're not willing to pay bribe money, or you know, stuff like that, right? Like you could come up with natural adventures that grow out of that. So Nero says, I once tried coming up with a steampunk, but I've been so out of practice with steampunk. I write a Weird West steampunk series, so let me think about what I would suggest for that. I mean, I don't know. It really kind of depends on your style of steampunk, for one thing, because there's different varieties of steampunk, obviously. You know, are we thinking, you know, Red Dead Redemption with some curly cues, or are we thinking Victorian London, or are we thinking, you know, Bioshock, right? There's so many different ways to approach it. So that, you know, I mean, you can incorporate. You mentioned you like horror in different genres, right? So, you know, think of all the classic stuff, right? Frankenstein would go really well, you know, in the steampunk setting, you know? Yeah, I don't know.
Steampunk, on the other hand, is all 1950s style. I'm really into that right now. Although some futuristic. Silent Hill out the world. It's okay. Like Saturdays.
I think I'll read that out loud because you're kind of muttering.
Yeah,
Diesel punk, on the other hand, is all 50s style, and I'm really into that right now. Although something futuristic and running like cyberpunk could be interesting, sure. Especially if you ran it with the Silent Hill Otherworld thing being some kind of cyberspace kind of thing, but then it starts bleeding into the real world. That would be fucking cool, and I don't think anybody has done anything quite like that.
yeah.
So I would love to see that. But diesel punk's cool too, and diesel punk is an underrepresented genre, right? So I mean, like, either of these are good, right? If you're running with like a horror cyberpunk, that's cool, you know. But if you know, because I don't. Occasionally there's horrors in cyberpunk, but I don't see a lot of that element, right? And then you know, where you make the spirit world of Silent Hill, you know, the cyberspace. But why not? Ghost in the Shell, and you know, like you could incorporate a lot of that. How much, you know, how much energy do you have to give an idea before it becomes real? Huh. That would be very cool. And hey, Dieselpunk's always cool, right? Like, I think they're just starting to scratch the surface with stories about Dieselpunk, really.
Good idea, Nito. I'll run with that.
There is something that William Gibson, I think it was talking about. Remember exactly. Just a second here. I have to do a little research. I keep forgetting his term. that he used for it. I'm looking for an old article I wrote that was actually on a pagan blog where I was referring to it. Turns out that there's another article where I used a similar term that apparently was more popular than I thought it was because it came up first. Ha, there we go. I knew there'd be a link in this article to the other article. And I'm doing all this just so I can find the term.
Turn up Sable's mic? Yep.
Oh, okay. This is turning out to be a difficult search. Ah, okay, the term I'm looking for is semiotic ghosts, which is kind of a weird term, but this is a thought about how thought forms can become real. Or at least that was a theory, right? And especially if we're talking about on, in the cloud. Actually, you know what? I'll just link this article because it has a video that you might want to watch too that was featured on, it's the same channel that does Extra History, and they do a series called Extra Sci-Fi, and they were talking about this as a semiotic ghosts is the term that I was looking for. That is what it spelled like, and this is the article I wrote. It's not really what I'm trying to say exactly, because of course I'm writing to pagans in this article and referring to science fiction, but there's a lot of stuff about that concept in the article that'll lead you down a couple rabbit holes that you might be interested in for your thought on a ghostly cyberspace. And you're welcome. Happy to help. I like to encourage cool ideas, and I think that's a cool idea. I would read that book. Close down a bunch of my windows here. So is anybody working on anything but me? You're working on your timeline, okay. Oh yeah, that's true. Barbarossa is working on his theme. Caro is writing stuff for Flames of Remembrance, which is his awesome Harvest Festival article idea, which is great. I figure that I'm probably going to have to save that for the World Forge tomorrow. My version, which is called Erin, Song of Death. And Nitol is doing research, which is awesome. Dunwall was way too dreary. Holy cow, why can't I say that word today? Dreary for me, says Barbarossa. Interesting. I missed a whole bunch of conversation here. I'm checking it out now. Neatle says, I love Diesel Punk, although I got into it thanks to Dishonored, which is so good. Barbarossa says, Dishonored is very, very, very good. I love the look of Karnaka over Dunwall, though. Dunwall was way too dreary for me. Oh, a little Poppy? The mic is Poppy. Okay. Okay. Well, I think maybe we'll start a sprint perhaps as soon as he's done smoking his dope over there. Which is why he disappeared from the camera. We live in Canada, by the way. This is perfectly legal. Neatle says, I love dark and dreary atmospheres in cities, in games personally, but mostly the main thing I look for in a world is clutter. Clutter, that's interesting. What do you mean by clutter? I'm curious, that's fascinating. Oh, I like lived-in looking worlds. Sure. Sure, things are busy and clutter makes you feel lived in. Good. Tell that to my mother. She'll stop or my mother-in-law rather. She'll stop criticizing my housekeeping skills. No, but I get what you mean, and that's cool actually. Macaro had a momentary delay because. Oh. Macaro is delayed because he is doing husbandly stuff, which is good. Good for you. You are a good hubby, Macaro. Good work.
I type with my right hand only anyways. My keyboard's even set up for it.
Yep, he'd be like, oh, I want to get some work done. You want your handheld? Okay, here, have the left one. Tippity tap, tippity tap. It would work. Mm-hmm. Neatle says, well, like going into a game where it's supposed to be a home people have lived in for a while. But there's barely anything on the counters and everything is nice and neat and looks like you're ready for a party or something is boring to me. Legit. I feel the same way about it. You know, sitcoms have a terrible habit of that, for example. One thing that, I mean, people aren't old enough to remember this, probably, and I'm not even old enough to remember this, but I remember reading something about it. One of the big attractions of Star Wars when it came out was that it was science fiction that looked kind of gritty. And I realized that that doesn't really resonate with us now because that's been a trend. But at the time, science fiction was very polished, ray gun, gothic, or Star Trek type of stuff, right? Everything looked clean and new and shiny, right? But, you know, shit broke down all the time in Star Wars. You know, it looked greasy. You know, things required tools instead of glowing lights to fix. You know, and that was a big haul. And then, of course, when that was a big deal, right? And then the Aliens movies started coming out, and they went one step further with that, and it was really a thing at the time. So, yeah. Neatle adds, or like when I was making an abandoned building in Sims, I do a lot of Sims stuff. The build was quick, but the cluttering sort of builds the story of what was going on during the days before they abandoned the place all of a sudden. Yeah, exactly. Looking at the abandoned city of, what is it, Puripat? Or Puriat?
Puriat.
Right? Which was near the Chernobyl disaster, is really educational if you are looking into what abandoned buildings might look like or a post-apocalyptic settings. I've used pictures from it for my Weird West world, actually, so because it's a post-apocalyptic story. Oh God!
The longer you type with one hand, Macaro, the easier it gets.
This is true. I've learned to use a mouse with my left hand, even though I'm very right-handed. You practice these things, you get better at it. Oh, I totally missed the raid. We were raided.
Oh,
Hello, Smunchy Games. I'm so sorry.
I'm
What
sorry.
in the hell? I just got the notice now. That is ridiculous. Welcome and thanks so much for the raid.
Yeah, thanks, Munchy Games. We didn't mean to ignore you.
Yeah, next time you come in, yell stuff. Because that's cool. How was your stream today? If you guys are even still here now, I don't know when that happened.
Yeah.
Neathole says, like in Fallout 4, when I was playing that, I loved it because of how much clutter was still lying around the houses. Yeah, they do a good job with that. I really enjoy, I don't have a lot of time to play a lot of games these days. I spend most of that time writing, and what I don't spend on it, I read. And what I don't spend doing that, I spend trying to catch up on all the series that nerds absolutely have to watch, right? But I enjoy watching their the video game movies on YouTube, right? Because I think some of the best storytelling right now in science fiction and fantasy is going on in video games, right? And role-playing games, right? And I want to see that. Freedom, says Macaro. Yay! Neathole says, working on an RPG Maker game, and I'm literally adding layers of extra items around the main character's home to build the story of the main character and her mother, and at the office of all the things for working cases. Cool. Yeah, Barbarossa was doing some of that, actually, with his map that he made for Dog Grumman Orc Detective. In character works with ghost hunters. Cool. Sounds great.
Well, we're already 40 minutes into this stream. We've done no sprinting.
Yes.
This ain't my fault.
Totally is.
How is it my fault?
Totally is. Let's go. Put up a timer. Let's do it. Oops. Nah, it's fine. But let's get going. We're not going to win any Game of Tomes if we keep this up.
Yeah. Macaro has freedom, so now they can type. Okay. Putting up a timer. 15 minutes going on the timer. And sprint. Okay, you have a good day there, Neathole, and we'll see you later.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, nice meeting you too, Neathole.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing your streams over NaNoWriMo and whatnot. That'll be great. This sprint by making sure that I have my Patreon stuff done. Yeah, my pleasure there, Nito. Happy to help. Excited to try out writing streams, probably while speaking character design streams and stuff, because art in general is just part of my thing. Hey, that's cool. Creative stuff is always cool. I'm kind of a multi-creative type too, so I feel ya. All right, and that's the end of our sprint. How'd you guys do? I managed to get my Patreon thing posted. I was posting the next chapter in On a Time in the Weird West, which I am serializing for my patrons, and I had to get that done.
230 words from Macaro.
Excellent, excellent. That is very good news. Anybody else out there working with us, or we got like quiet day today? Okay, that's okay. Okay, I'm going to be AFK for just a second here.
Oh, Ultras can come before them. I'm sorry, guys. Sable's just getting me some headache medication. I'm coming down with a headache, but we're gonna press on with this anyways, so. Well, that's cool, Macaro. Macaro says they got the history written down, but now it's time for the execution and observance. Well, we're going to be doing another sprint here in about a minute. Yeah. I don't know where that would go in. Ready to have another sprint? You ready for another sprint? "45 seconds.
Yeah, sure. I'm ready for another sprint. I'm just going to start my first sprint here.
Yeah, it's like I can't figure out why.
Huh.
Okay, sprint is on again. I'm going to close my eyes for a minute and let these Tylenol take effect, and then we'll be off.
All right. I'll put my mic back up in a couple secs here, and on we go. Hey gang, sorry about the dead mic there for a minute. I was chewing because I was trying to catch a bit of a snack while I was working on stuff here. Flower, good to see you. Hi Bob, good to see you too. Hey Stretch. Yeah, snacks is good, yeah. Rider fuel. And everybody from the Dungeon Fog stream runs over to Sable. Cool. Yeah, how'd the rest of that go? We, of course, had to leave to get things organized, but... Really good. Awesome. Surprised E-Song isn't here yet. Yeah, well, maybe E-Song had something that she had to do. See that we were on, or maybe she saw that I insisted that writing was going to get done, which would amuse the hell out of me. Well, I just did a little bit of updating during this sprint as well for the Game of Tomes. I finally added Isaac to the list of streamers who were going to cover stuff, and now I can go back to Toy Soldier Saga and continue working on my manuscript. Now that I got that done and my Patreon post done, so. Do the keep up with Bob Ross thing.
Okay, and that's the end of that sprint.
If you were working with us, how'd you do? I got that extra stuff done. I also managed to shovel some things in my face, which I turned my mic off for so you guys didn't have to listen to me crunching in your ear. I blame DM Stretch. It's totally his fault. Because this morning he was talking about how he devoured a bag of crisps, and I'm like, yes, potato chips sound really good. Do we have any? So I dug them up. I've been munching at them ever since. But I got the stuff done I wanted to do, which is I posted my Patreon post and I updated the stuff I had to update on the Game of Tones page. I got a little bit more editing done, but not a huge amount.
Yeah. I got my eyes closed and got my headache to go away.
Here we go.
So I'm good to go.
Nitol says, still waiting on my friend, and I'm about halfway through your article. I gotta say, it works really well with my main lines of stories, those egregors. I have a concept I refer to as the belief theory, in which the more something is believed in that thing, and that thing has more power and is more real. And this pretty much goes along the same line. Yeah, it's pretty much what the concept of an egregor is, right? And you can strengthen the idea in magical thought, right? This is like occult groups and, witches and pagan traditions that believe in magic and stuff like that. The idea is the more powerfully you can believe in and visualize something, the more the more reality it takes on, right? So yeah, basically, you can do it one of two ways.
Be right back,
You
guys.
can either-
I gotta do bio.
Okay, yeah, you can either develop your own ability to visualize and your own strength of will enough that you can do it yourself, or you can get other people to believe in the thing you want to create a thought form for and get them to help you create it, right? And the more people who contribute to it, the more powerful it is. So yeah, Macaro did 236 words. Excellent. DM Stretch is laughing at me, which is also funny. Because of the crisps. Crisp is a better word, isn't it? Right? Than a chip. Because, chips mean two things in Canada. They mean the things, the wedgie fries with the inside and kind of crispy outside. French fries, except a particular type of French fry, I think. Home fries, stuff that's like actual chips of the potato, right? And then there's potato chips, just to be confusing, which of course is the stuff that comes in the bag and goes crunch, crunch, and is all dry and is, usually flavored with, salt and vinegar or whatever, right? Or whatever flavor you like. But crisp is a better word because it describes it, and then it starts making you think about, yeah, I like that crispy feeling, and then you want it. It's hilarious. Okay, Macaro says it could use polishing, but it has all the content. Excellent. Now to figure out what to do about not having a sidebar. I'll probably use the sidebar to note the cremation everywhere part. Yes, you were talking about that earlier because of the various climate and landscape of your gray folk, I believe you were calling them. They would require cremation in order to dispose of remains, which makes sense to me. I am glad you found that interesting there, Nitol. That's cool. Bob says, that's where Esau went. She's firing up a stream of her own. Cool. Damn it, now I'm disappointed because I like Esau streams. Barbarossa says, hey Sable, want to see something I made? Always. I always want to see things you guys made. DM Stretch has to go. Have a good stream. Thanks, DM I I think I'll remember where we were and resume after the sprint. I really kind of want to get into the habit of getting shit done in a very focused way, like we're going to be doing during Game of Tomes. So we'll see you after the cheering. Sorry, I guess I do have to answer some things in the chat here. Let's see. Excuse me. Because Neatol's taking off. So Neatol says, oh yeah, I'm like running a magic system, I'm running a magic system, even in it that runs off of how much you can manifest your spirit into the power. And there's conduits for focusing, but they're only there to help you believe it works better. You don't need them. Good stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of people, genuinely believe that's the theory of magic. So, and the gods, goddesses in the series only have power in areas who believe in them when in world. That's cool. Barbarossa says, I sent you a thing I made for my Twitch stream on Discord. I will look at it in a moment. That's awesome. Makara says, yeah, Grey Folk seemed a good name for the people living in Greyburn. Makes sense to me. Neatwell says the belief theory is heavy in the story. That's awesome. Bob's going to check out Esong's stream. How much longer is the stream up for? We're here until 4:30 our time, so approximately an hour. Neatwell says, it's like one of my favorite concepts in the storyline because due to that, there's trends of conduits that are used throughout the years. That's awesome. And yeah, the longer one of these concepts has existed for, and the more people have invested their energy into it, the stronger it is. And who knows, maybe that's where the gods came from. Okay, I'm getting back to work now. If you have to take off, Neatol, it was a pleasure having your company, and I will see you later. And I don't blame anybody who wants to go take off and see Esong's stream. She's on rarely these days, and if you want to seize the opportunity, or even mute us while you're running her, and we're in the background, that's totally cool. Makes perfect sense to me. Take advantage of the opportunity while you got it.
Yeah, Macaro, I'd say the coldest day of the year is sometime about 10th of January in the Northern Hemisphere. Oh, the Lady Wrights came in and cheered some bits. Thank you. Thank you, the Lady Wrights.
Hey, nice to see you. Thanks so much for that. Right on.
Yeah, we're in the midst of a sprint here. We got 7 minutes to go on it.
I'm sorry that I did not make it back to your stream, by the way, after World Anvil was done today. But I was really enjoying it. It's really nice to see somebody actually writing science fiction. Spot. So, yeah, just stopping to say hi for a moment. My pleasure to share. I'll be back if the internet works. Good luck. I hear you.
Good luck,
And,
I hear ya.
you know, if your cat doesn't like, pull out the cord or something in the mood it's been in today. But all the kitties are good kitties, especially if they're bad kitties.
Yep. Oh, is that a raid? I didn't know if I wasn't notified of a raid. But if that was a raid, Satoru, well, welcome.
Yes, and I apologize for Twitch's assholery in not informing us if that is the case. But welcome! Yeah, apparently Smunchy Games rated us at the beginning, like near the beginning of the stream, and I missed it entirely. It then said it later and said rated with a party of 4. And I'm like, it's hard to hear you all. Oh, okay. Is that better? Close to my face because I was chewing for a minute.
How about me? Is it hard to hear me?
A bit. I just turned it up. We're having sound problems today, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
What you using, Streamlabs or OBS, babe?
What's that?
What you using today, Streamlabs or OBS?
Same thing.
No,
Streamlabs,
Streamlabs.
OBS.
Okay, it's Streamlabs OBS. Yeah, okay. I don't know what it seems to like reset all the audio stuff
Yeah, it
every
does
time
weird.
you reload the fucking
My
thing.
computer is fucked. I think it's shitting itself and dying.
I don't know. I don't have these problems with Twitch Studio. This is why I haven't switched over yet, even though everything is, all the cool plugins exist for Streamlabs, right? So, I don't know. Streamlabs is really weird with that. Can't wait to get an upgrade. No doubt. When it upgrades, and stops doing that bullshit, let me know. It's just, I'm a bit of an incompetent when it comes to things like that, and I would have major audio problems every time. It would just not work for me. Oh, you mean for your laptop? I hear you. Okay. Well, his computer's pretty awesome, but it's like a few years old, so I don't suppose it actually owes us anything. Yeah, that's a good point there, Bob. Bob reminds us, whenever Windows updates, it tends to reset Streamlabs and OBS Studio audio inputs to default instead of what the specific devices they were set to. They also do it to Twitch Studio, and apparently this time they did it in such a way that, you can't, unless you're like moused onto the page showing a video, it will not show the video over your streaming software. I was very angry with that because I had an interview to do.
With Chrome, yeah.
What's that? Yeah, with Chrome, yeah. Rage quit, I'll tell you. I had to reset on the fly Thursday morning. eSong is doing the same thing right now. Windows is the only virus you willingly install, right?
Yep.
Get some editing done. I think I got about 30 seconds left of the sprint, don't I?
No, sprint's over.
Sprint's over? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes.
Actually get the thing to stop going over the speakers. That's cool. 104 words for Macaro. Awesome. That's great. I'm doing... I'm not really measuring in words because I'm editing. I am about 2/3 of the way through this scene. I'm being picky about phrasing. And I've also been kind of reworking the way I've been doing the magic in this story, which is a gradual process. The story originally started out as sort of D&D fan fiction, so I had a very Dungeons and Dragons style magic system, and I have made significant changes since then, but I keep going back over it and going, yeah, that still sounds very D&D, and it would make more sense if I did it like X. So, continue the sidebar for a bit. That's cool. I don't know if anybody else was writing with us.
Well, I might get some work done on this.
You actually gonna get your ass in gear, are you?
Thinking about it.
Thinking about it. everybody else working on? We know what Makaro's working on. Or is everybody else like muted and lurking to support the stream while they're watching a song, which would be cool. Understand that.
I won't forgive you, but I'd understand. I'm kidding.
Don't make me beat him. Next group challenge. Sable beats Erin on stream. 100,000 booty coins. Ah. So how are you doing today, Satoru? Apparently the interwebs are having problems all over the place today. Or Twitch is being twitchy.
Yeah.
Satori says, oh, Streamlabs messing with my audio. I'm fine. Fine. It's fine. Yep. I sympathize. I don't know, it's doing something weird to us and I don't understand. Seems we have to screw things every time.
In 10 seconds, you will hear a dragon.
Okay.
Signifying that we are to sprint again.
Oh, the stretch just went up too.
And we're off on a
realize
15
that the
minute sprint.
stretch was too. Okay.
Barbarossa's up.
We got competition today.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Svartic Seraph is on, but I watch her all the time.
The hell was that? Ouch. That's our sprint dragon letting us know it's time to get back to work. Sorry about that. Watching reviews of Mulan 2020, studying a lot of criticisms so I can apply them to my own writing. Well, that's a good idea.
Or am I not? Let's see, watching reviews in the line. Yeah, Satoru, you're probably right. You're probably going to do something stupid with the symbolism. Alright. China is a really complex sociological phenomenon. Alright. You know, it's sort of a strange thing when you can take a look at a document that was written 3,000 years ago and read it. Right? Your language might not be the same. They might not have pronounced anything the same, but they use the same characters and have used them for 3,000, well, more than 3,000 years. Right? Oh, Japan is even worse because their stuff is like confusing. I think the Japanese, like the Celts, made things intentionally confusing to outsiders. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's probably a smart idea.
Sorry, I was just laughing at something I was reading, because I'm doing editing, and I was amused by the mental image. I didn't intend to be amused by the mental image at that spot. I might want to rethink that, but it was kind of funny.
Tense?
Yeah, it's a tense scene, but then on the other hand, maybe a little bit of comic relief isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody else would find it funny, I just did. I just finished the part. So how'd you guys do? I just finished editing part 6.
I got my entry done.
Nice. Satoru is drawing upon Japanese mythology, which can be confusing.
Yeah, it can be very confusing, that's what I was saying.
I admire the effort. You might want to talk to Shy-Red Fox. Her world is also based in Japanese mythology, in particular around the Kitsune, which I think is really
And
cool.
the Tengu.
And the Tengu, yep. Mikaro says 199 words and almost done. Excellent.
Excellent.
Good work.
Release the hounds. Smithers.
Yeah, we're at 4 o'clock, so we got about half an hour left in the stream.
Yeah, we'll do this break and then we'll do another 15-minute sprint and then we'll probably do a break and a 10-minute sprint.
There we go.
And then we'll raid somebody. DM Stretch, Esong. Yeah.
And because our world is based in a lot of role-playing game stuff that we did, Erin is writing the history of some of the they're basically the equivalent of the
Superheroes.
Yeah, they're the powerhouses. They're like the oldest characters we played in this world.
Yeah, and basically they're the Justice League.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But their history actually gives a depth of history to the world in general, so...
Yeah, because some of them have been around for thousands of years. Right? Some of them have been around for like 1,000 years. Alright?
Very little of it will actually have a bearing on the novels, but it's cool to have it because it might.
Yeah, I'm only going up to, at this point, before the novels even take place, up to the point of our campaign, which is Toy Soldiers Old School. Right?
Right, which we run on Monday nights.
Right.
Here on this channel.
Right, and I'm bringing their history up to that point. Right? As something for our players to take a look at if they want to know the history of some of these people.
Some of it crosses over, though. One of the characters involved in this group has appeared in the novels already.
Yes. The one I'm writing about at the moment.
Selnaris Keymarney. The man who should be the King of the Elves.
Mm-hmm. If he only had a crown.
And a brain.
And a brain, yeah.
Kind of dense for an Archmage. I mean, what? Did I say that? I did.
What do you mean dense for an Archmage? All Archmages are dense.
Too much time reading, not enough time doing things in the world.
Yep. Too much book learning, not enough experience. Okay, in 30 seconds.
30 seconds already? Alright.
Alright, we continue. Satoru, turn down your sound.
Yeah, because you're going to get growled at by the dragons again. Were we doing Game of Thrones, this would be the time in which you enter your word
And we're off again.
Alright.
Do you have Jinn elementals in your world? Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to figure out where Shelmar and then learn how to cast wishes. Alright? I mean, learning a spell is learning a spell in D&D, but in your world, you know, it's not so simple as just copying it out of a spell book. Alright? Alright. Yeah. 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 Like reality, you get better. Right. Medicine bags and yeah. Yeah. I'm sure the Nereids do to an extent too. Are you sure? Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And Macaro is done. He said he had to actually throw out 27 words. Good work. Congrats.
Excellent, Macaro. Excellent.
Well, we could be using the last 10 minutes of the stream to be looking at your work instead of doing a 10-minute sprint or something if you want to.
Yeah, if you want us to take a look, let us know.
We do have a channel point thingy for that.
Okay, Macaro Redeem Showcase. I'll just save this event here.
Awesome, that's great.
Just a showcase, okay, not a big critique on it. They say that it's...
I'll probably polish it like a year from now or something. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, no big critique, just a showcase. Let's see, the Flames of Remembrance. As we light this fire...
Hey, hold up.
Oh.
First of all, we're in the middle of the sprint.
The showcase is done. Sprint is done.
What do you mean the sprint's done?
Ooh, you said we'll take the last 10 minutes of the sprint to showcase this article.
No, I said that we would take the last 10 minutes of the stream instead of doing a 10-minute sprint.
Oh, mea culpa.
Yes, next sprint. Or the sprint after.
Yeah, next sprint, says
Yeah.
Macaro. Okay, back to work, back to work. Break time, break time. No, back to work.
Don't be interrupting me, I'm on a roll here. I'm a moron. Okay, there we go. That's what happens when you distract me. Oh, I see my cat's in demon mode. And he's in the house. What are you doing, demon? What the hell are you doing?
Demonizing the place.
Apparently. I don't even know what he's attacking. What is he attacking? Oh,
My cord.
again. It looks like a snake, he says.
It's too cold to play outside.
Yeah. I haven't seen the old guy for hours.
Yeah, he's
Poor
pissed.
kitty. Yep.
See, you gave me that shit and then I threw up. Now I'm mad at you.
Probably.
Cats hate throwing up.
Well, that's good.
Well, that's done everything. Next article piece.
How'd you guys do? I started part 7 and got deeply into the first chapter of it, so that's good.
I didn't write that many words per se, but I did get an article done on the timeline.
Well, we could certainly do Makaro's article now if you want
Yeah,
it.
yeah, we got 15 minutes and we'll dedicate that to doing Makaro's article, I think.
Yeah, and if
Sure,
there's
that's
time
fine.
afterwards, we can do a sprint, and if not, whatever, we'll raid somebody.
Yeah. Who's up? Esong Jam Stretch is still up. Yeah.
Barbarossa's not up? I thought you said
No,
he
he
was
was
going
up, but he's not up anymore.
to. Okay. Must have been experimenting, doing a test stream.
Yeah, I must be testing his theme.
Makara says, okay, finally done with my tweaks. I placed some hours and whatnot. Or some HRs and whatnot. Breaks. Yeah, the line breaks. Fair
Line
enough.
breaks and such.
Alright.
Okay. Then I
Let's have a
shall
look.
refresh the article
Yes.
and see how it looks with some line breaks and stuff. Yeah, there we go. The Flames of Remembrance. As we light this fire for a week of joy, let us remember those who cannot share this joy with anymore. As we fill our bellies with food and laughter, let us remember those who have left a hole in our hearts to fill. As we drink and toast all that we have accomplished, let us toast those who we can never drink with again. As we light this fire for joy, let us first light it for sorrow we have faced, and then let us make sure that in this cold we lose no more. A fire for the dead. On the second harvest festival, the Grey Folk first honor the dead before celebrating life. They light a fire for those not there anymore, which they keep active for the entire festival. They also make an offering to honor the dead, which is donated to those in need due to loss. This way they make sure everyone can make it through the cold season. Originating from the northern parts of Greyburn, this tradition is now followed everywhere, even in the warm and humid south, where snow is only known from stories. The flames of remembrance will be lit and kept alight for the entire week. They may not be familiar with the cold, but they are familiar with loss. History. With the significant travel time villagers and townfolk face, sorry, I'm a little dyslexic, sorry. Many hear of a death only long after the funeral, yet the need to mourn remains. As such, the Grey Folk have several types of remembrance rituals in the past. In the north, this developed into the Flames of Remembrance. There, the cold season involves snow and periods of freezing temperatures. By the time the second Harvest Festival arrives, temperatures have already dropped significantly. To fight the cold, the second Harvest Festival is celebrated with many hot meals and shared fires. At some point, people began lighting a fire specifically to honor the dead. They donated wood to keep the fire burning so that as they filled their bellies with hot food and joy, they could share it with those they would never see again. They also would make offerings which were donated to families in need. This way, any family who lost a family member, leaving them poorly prepared for the cold season, would not have to worry thanks to these donations. Of course, the other families in need would also receive supplies. Let me drink just give me a second. Nobody hydrated us the whole time. As Greyburn became more connected and people began spreading around, this ritual hit a chord with other parts of Greyburn. This was due to two reasons. First of all, the fire, which matched the funeral pyres used to cremate people everywhere. Second, honoring the dead by aiding the living, so that a death will not lead to more by starvation. Over time, the Flames of Remembrance became so popular they replaced all other remembrance rituals. Cool. Observance.
Yeah, neat.
What's that?
No, I was just saying, yeah, that's neat.
Oh.
I'm listening.
Observance. The Flames of Remembrance are lit on the first evening of the second Harvest Festival, which takes place at the last week before the cold season. During the day, arriving people will offer both firewood and supplies. Part of said fire will be used to build a pyre. The excess wood will be stored nearby. Some of this wood will be used to keep the fire burning throughout the entire festival. After the festival, the offerings are given to those in need. In the north, they will also be handed the remaining firewood to help prevent any shortages during the harsh cold. On the sidebar here, we've got a pyre for the dead. The Grey Folk cremate their dead, in part because graves would cause problems for most locations. For example, frozen or boggy soil or local predators. After 3 days of mourning, they will build a funeral pyre over the corpse and light it. In villages, sometimes they will add dye to the fire so that colored smoke will inform nearby villages of the death. That's cool. A mourning flame. Even before Greyburn was fully connected, long travel times between villages and towns meant that many would be incapable of attending funerals. However, once informed, they would still mourn, while lighting a single torch to represent the funeral pyre. This habit developed into the shared pyre called the Flames of Remembrance. Initially, it was traditional to mourn for 3 days after being informed of the death of a good friend or close family. This tradition ended up being mostly replaced by the Flames of Remembrance. People may choose to instead mourn for the first 3 days of the festival, honoring all those they knew and were not able to visit the funeral of in the past year. This mourning is done at home during the day with a torch lit from the flames of remembrance. Aid before the snow. During the cold season, the cold and snow make it hard to travel for donating supplies to those in need. This is why many villagers would bring spare supplies with them to the festival and make sure that everyone was well stocked. If a family notes their house is in disarray, they will be offered shelter. Repairs will take place after the cold season.
That's cool. I'm gonna give that a like.
Yeah, I'm gonna give that a big old like too.
Yeah, you're missing the word "be" in the last sentence there, just FYI. Not really meaning to heavily edit or anything, but oh, it's cool. I like that idea there, Macaro. Good work.
Yeah, it's good thing it makes sense. You know, in a place where people burn their dead and can't bury them.
Hey Nova, welcome. You're just catching us at the end
Nova
of the stream,
Grimm.
I'm afraid.
Yeah, we're just about to raid somebody. Right?
Because this is only a 2.5-hour stream today.
Yeah.
But we're glad to see you.
Yeah.
I hope you've had a good day. Getting dark here already. Makara says the missing B is from repeatedly editing that sentence. Fixed. No doubt. I do that all the time. I'm still finding shit like that like the current book I am editing was started 10 years ago. Right? And it started as fan fiction, and then I had to figure out how to convert it to, how to convert my own universe, and it's been through a long haul, but because I've repeatedly edited it, sometimes I will have missing words in the sentence too. I totally understand where you're coming from. Thanks, guys, for joining us today. This was fun. I feel like I got a lot of work done, and that makes me very happy. I appreciate you guys hanging out while we were doing it and working with us, if you had time to do that. DM Stretch is doing his Halloween Spooktober event, but he's currently playing a video game, Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Esong is doing World Anvil world building and map making using Dungeon Fog. So I don't know which one you guys would prefer to view. Under normal circumstances, it would be Esong hands down, because we tend to raid world building content and writing content before anything else.
Yeah.
So it is a special event that DM Stretch is doing today. So, let me know what you guys think.
Is he doing that today?
I know he's starting it. It's a Spooktober week-long event. He's going to be doing special related streams, so he's playing Call of Cthulhu today as part of that.
Right.
So, because it's creepy. Mikara says one of these days I should install Grammarly. Yeah, I avoid Grammarly. The reason why is because I write my dialogue like how people talk.
Yeah, me too.
It would never give me any end of grief.
Me too, and I use lots of dialogue tags too, so fuck you.
Sometimes it would even give me problems, right? Writing world building articles, because I tend to write them like it's an encyclopedia. And encyclopedias tend to use a lot of passive voice, and they'd be like, you need more active voice. And I'm like, not everything is a fucking blog post, Right? So, blogs are for active voice. Encyclopedias are for passive voice, for academic clarity. So,
okay, I think we'll raid Esong. Just
yeah.
because she's doing World Anvil content.
Yeah, fair enough. And you're welcome, Makaro. Makaro says, thanks for the sprints. Help me finish my
You're very welcome, Makaro. We had a lot of fun. Got a lot of work done.
Yeah, don't forget that we have only 4 viewers at the moment, which means Twitch is not going to inform Esong that we are rating her. 5 viewers? Okay, good. Then it might, right? So when you go over, make sure to use our raid call, which is prepare to be boarded, because we are the Sables Privateers.
Right.
Setting up the raid right now.
Set up the raid, and I'll turn off the... video.
All right.
Killed the radio.
And that was fun. We'll see you guys tomorrow at Sable's World Forge, 1 p.m. Pacific. I will be working on my Dark Harvest article, I believe, and then if I happen to have any time left over after that, I will be doing more editing.
And I might appear on that stream.
All right, we'll see you there. Bye, everybody.
I don't think it clogged their software down too much to make that big of an issue. And it just discourages me. Streamers. So I will prepare. You have given me warning, so I shall prepare to be boarded. Oh my gosh! I am now prepared! I am being boarded! Thank you so much, both Sable and Erin, for the raid. I hope your stream went well. I'm so sorry I did not know that you were streaming, or I would have maybe not not gone on, because I do love your streams and I don't like missing them. But here I am trying to make a map. I'm not sure how it's going, to be honest, but here's my attempt at a marshy, swampy thing. So that's remembering what RPG General Bob was calling me on. He's like, your scaling is horrid. So I am trying to adjust this so that it is not as obnoxiously terrible. Sable Aradia says, yes, we had a pathetic rate of 4 people today, so Twitch cannot be bothered with us. Well, on Twitch. I hope the stream was good, nevertheless. My stream's going okay. I've been having some audio issues, and I actually wonder if they're similar to the ones that you and Erin experienced last week. RPG General Bob was saying that he experienced some. My microphone was not picking up, and it's still weird because I'm using Streamlabs OBS, and my microphone is it says it's picking up stuff, but if I